Happy Pride Month. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I am here joined by my excellent co-host, who is very queer, as I am,
Very
Eric.
queer, Celine. Happy Pride Month, everyone.
Today for Pride Month, we will be discussing Degrassi episodes Pride and My Body is a Cage. Roll the credits.
I must say, these episodes were really good picks. You've done good.
Yeah.
Because I was like remembering, because you did it pretty quick from when we discussed like doing it. You were
hmm
like, I already know which episodes were like Pride, and then you did My Body is a Cage with Cage, right?
Yeah. Both were
Um,
titles of songs from what I understand. Pride, oh my gosh. I know what who the artist is, but I'm forgetting. And then My Body is a Cage, I believe that's a song too.
yeah, that's a great title for that episode. My gosh, that made me cry in two different parts. But then there was one story that I didn't care about, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure you probably know what it is.
It's very funny because both episodes have similar a similar B
Yeah,
plot, which I was like, wait a minute, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember the B plot in My Body is a Cage being the same as the one in Pride. Like,
Right? How weird is that? Like,
that was so weird.
did anyone from Degrassi watch? Like, maybe they could have given her breast cancer or something different than the same
Yeah,
thing that
right.
they
But
gave the
they both had
principal.
leukemia. They both had
That was weird. I actually did care about those plots, even though they were the same. But we'll talk. But yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to first start with Pride, which is a season 3 episode. I'm sorry, I was like blanking for a minute. I was like trying to remember which opening credits was it. Season 3. so,
Mm.
so I'll pass over to Eric, and we'll just so we can discuss the episode.
So we have like the kids are going to take a beach trip. Remember, I'm still not familiar with all the kids'
Yeah,
names and stuff,
don't
but
worry, I'll fill you in.
I pretty much got, yeah, exactly. So one of the boys, like, I guess they're just like getting stuff out of the car, and he's like something like, "Don't be a homo" or something.
hmm
So we already know where this is going, even
Yeah,
though,
so
I mean,
the boy who said that was his name is Spinner. I
oh,
think
that
that
was
was like the
Spinner.
last time you had trouble with his name, like remembering his name. You kept calling him dude.
Yeah, yeah, right. That's why I put boy. But yeah, I did get his name eventually. And plus, like, there's another one. There's a kid that kind of looks like but I get confused.
What the
Uh,
Paige's brother or the
no, it was
the bully. I know who you're talking about.
yes, yes, yes,
I know
yes.
exactly who you're talking about.
Because I
Oh,
thought that was him, and I'm like, oh wait, that wasn't him. Um, and they love confronting people in bathrooms in these episodes too, if you notice.
right. Oh my gosh.
It's pretty funny because that's what was the season 3, and then the other one season 10.
hmm
So that's a big difference. That's 7 years, went by, and they're still kind of
Yeah.
doing similar things. But really good episodes though. I didn't know the people with the baby, so I got Spike and Snake.
Spike and Snake. So their nicknames. Her name is really Christine. His name is really Archie or Archibald.
Now, are they a couple?
They are married. The baby is Spike and Snake's baby. Emma, who's the girl, is only Spike's daughter. Snake is Emma's stepfather.
Okay, okay. I was wondering what their relation was. I couldn't really
Yeah,
tell.
and he's a media immersions teacher at the Degrassi, but later we see him as a
Yeah,
principal.
which we see
Yeah,
in season 10. Yeah. So I'm like, I guess he lives because he's in the
yeah,
season
yeah.
10.
Sorry to spoiler alert, but
That was funny. Um, yeah, so they have like a baby or whatever, and I think Spike is the one that didn't want him to be around the baby because he was sick, so he had to go stay with Joey
yeah, he
and
kept
Peg.
sneezing. And then
Yeah,
very important thing, he cuts his finger. He cuts his finger when he's trying to. I forgot what he was doing, but he cut his finger too when he was trying to
probably
do
like
something.
making dinner or something.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I was so what do you know what brought their names about, Spike and Snake? I'm just curious.
They're just nicknames. So these two characters are from the previous iteration of Degrassi, which
Okay,
I would have loved to have done a an episode from Degrassi High and Degrassi Junior High, but I couldn't think of one. I don't even think there was. Well, I could. There was one, but I like a lesbian episode, but it didn't go nowhere. So that's why I didn't really wanted to do it.
right.
But they're from the previous iteration of Degrassi. Um, they're just nicknames because nobody wants to be
Okay.
called Archie,
Yeah,
Archibald.
right. Yeah, really. Yeah, that's
And
true.
Spike is literally her hair used to be in a mohawk, like in a spiky mohawk,
Okay.
because
It's just funny
80s.
that it was in the 80s.
It was in the 80s, so it was
Oh, wow.
88 to 90, I think, or
Wow,
86 to 90, I want to
what a
say.
great job to have to last that long in your career, for actors.
Yeah,
But
because
again,
there
this
was
is
a
kind
10
of
year break
soapy,
between there was like a 10 or 12-year break between Degrassi High and The Next Generation.
right?
So,
So yeah, the kids like are playing volleyball or whatever, messing around. I have that Marco and Dylan were kind of flirting. Dylan is what's her name? Is that Emma's brother? Gay
Paige's
brother?
brother. Paige's brother.
Paige's gay brother who seems out and
Mm.
proud. Um,
And he's a
and
senior in high school at
and
this point.
oh, okay. And then so he's been in it all along.
So he's a recurring character.
Okay, so he comes
Yeah,
and
he's a
goes.
recurring character. He will continue to be recurring for the rest of the time that Marco's on the show.
Okay. So yeah, Marco, I don't know, is he in a fake relationship with that girl,
Yes,
like
he's
to
in a fake
cover?
relationship with Ellie, basically because and I guess this was I'm guessing this was 2004. Wow, this was about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I
So
think it
you
was
know how things were
2003
20
when I
years
was
ago. We don't need to explain
yeah.
it. If anybody younger than us is listening, I'll explain it. No one's next accepting.
Yeah, right. Um, so yes, Nate goes to stay with Joey and Craig. Craig's like making out with some girl. I don't know who that girl is. I don't remember
It
seeing her before.
was, oh my gosh, who was the girl? Was it Ashley? I think it was Ashley.
I don't
Ashley
know.
wasn't in this episode, was she? Yes, she
He
was.
was he was making out with somebody when Archie came over.
Oh, it was Ashley. It was Ashley. Yep, it was
Okay.
Ashley.
Um, so yeah, so Marco and Ellie are in like a pseudo relationship, I guess. Now, were they in this fake relationship before leading up to this?
Yeah, so they were
Okay.
most of well, I forgot like why am I blanking on like the number title the number of the episode, but I think they were in a fake relationship for most of this season up until this point, and then I think they were in the previous season, but they were recurring characters.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
they weren't in the credits until you saw them in the credits. They were really in the credits until season 3. So
Okay. And then, so there was one boy, I don't know who it was. Was it Spinner that said like they saw like a gay couple running on the beach or whatever, and he's like, we should put them all like the gays on an island basically by
yeah,
themselves.
that was Spinner. He was
That was
talking
Spinner.
to
Okay.
Jimmy, who is Czar Drake, who
Right.
cannot win a rap battle between well, I forgot the guy's name. Well, I'm bad with rap. I'm sorry. Look, take
I
back my black card.
I have a fun
All I know is that he lost a rap battle or something, or there was a whole big thing with Drake recently.
I
So
have a fun note with Marco. He actually was in a Drake video in 2018. I thought that was kind of
yeah,
cool.
I'm
So they
upset.
probably remained friends.
I'm upset. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good. That's a good
Um,
video. It has most of like the Degrassi, the Next Generation cast in it.
so while at like their like Craig's or whatever, Snake gets like a nosebleed or whatever. And he ends up passing out. Um, Ellie tells everybody that they broke up, her and Marco. Dylan goes to see if Marco's okay, and like because he was kind of into him, and he kind of thought Marco was gay, but Marco's not out completely.
Hmm.
And how did Ellie know that he was gay?
I think he told her first.
Okay, so he
So,
told her, and then
but it was in confidence, so it wasn't. So it wasn't like a big blowout thing like what we're gonna see later in the episode. But it was like, hey, I'm gay.
and I'm and I'm guessing that like she just was like wants to move on and like have a boyfriend that
Hmm.
likes her, so she's like over it. Um, Spinner seems to know something's up with Marco. But he's like, let me set you up with Hazel because she's single. I guess she's the only single one around besides everybody else is
Yeah,
in a relationship.
yeah. Which okay, so I'm gonna go on a little teeny tiny little bit of rant here. Hazel is critically underused in this series. Um, to the point where when that class graduates in about, I think it's about a year or a year and a half from this episode,
Hmm.
she's not included when like they go off to college, because they we do see a good portion of these characters like in their college experiences. She's not even included.
Wow.
Yeah, so and they don't, and speaking as a person of color, they don't, except for maybe like one or two characters, maybe even less than that, they don't do a good job with people of color in the show.
Mm.
Right down to the Asian characters. Um, I think some Hispanic character. I think we had a Hispanic. No, actually, the Hispanic characters seem to get a lot of airtime. But yeah, they do a bad job writing for people of color, except if it's Drake. And then there's another character. I don't know if we see her in My Body's a Cage or not, but that's Indian.
Oh, okay.
I think no. Well, their two characters are Indian that are brother and sister, but I'm not sure if we see the sister there, but we do see the brother. So
Okay.
yeah, they don't. Degrassi does not do it historically, has not done a good job with people of color characters.
That's a shame
Yeah, it
because
is.
they're like, I feel like they're breaking grounds with so many other things. So
They
it's
really
weird.
do.
Um, we have Emma worrying about Snake, which is why I was like confused at their relationship. So that's her stepdad, which is why, I
Yeah,
guess. Um, Marco leaves his awkward double date because he's with Hazel and I guess Spinner. Who's Spinner with in that? I don't remember who he's with
Spinner's
in
with
that scene.
Paige at this point.
Or Paige. So they're dating, I guess.
They're dating. Yeah,
Okay. And then we find out that Snake has leukemia and Marco gets harassed by these dudes. I forget where Marco was going. He was in
he
like
was
the
going to the
neighborhood.
hockey game. Oh wait, hold on. You missed a huge part
What?
when he comes out the Spinner.
Oh, was that in this episode?
No, that's in the previous episode. The hockey game is the next episode, part two.
Oh. No, but at the end of part one, he goes, wait, Marco goes, oh no, Marco gets harassed by Spinner. And then he tells him he's gay. Sorry.
Yeah,
That was my last
there
note.
it is. So this is an iconic moment. Just
I
because of
just
the way he
watched
says.
them all together, so it's all like
Mhm.
jumbled in my head.
Just because the way he says "pass the sauce."
Yeah.
And we're both from the Philadelphia area, so we know about dialect a lot, like how we say water and you
Yeah.
know John
Drinking
and
my
all that stuff.
water.
Here's my water ice. So
Here's my water.
and
Get
then
my Philly
also I think
cheesesteak.
it's unfortunately I have to say that while the scene is like a great coming out scene, I laughed at the way Marco says because I'm gay.
Well, I mean, he kind of forced it out of him. He was like,
Yeah, he forced it out of him but I do like how he says it, but it made me laugh.
yeah.
Just like
And then,
and then I didn't mention it in the previous episode we watched,
right.
the school shooting episode, when Toby yelled, "Stop!"
And Spinner
That
just
makes
kind of like
sense.
walks away and pretends it didn't even happen.
Yeah, he just walks away.
Basically.
He's like, okay,
Because
bye
that's
bye.
what happens. That's what happens when we go into part two. Marco's worried about Spinner saying something to him. He confronts him, and
Mhm.
Spinner's like, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking
I don't
about."
know what
He's like, "I came out to you. Like, what are you talking about?" Um, and Spinner, I think, leaves them there too. He just acts like a tool and rolls off.
you're talking.
Um, Spinner also like at gym class. They like play volleyball or whatever, and
Hmm.
he like messes with them there. Like hits the ball too hard
He's
at them,
spiking
and
the ball to him,
yeah,
even though the teacher said no spiking, so
right.
that he gets in trouble.
He's being a tool. He writes that Marco was a fag in the bathroom,
Mm,
which was shitty.
very shitty.
Uh, yeah. Um, and then Jimmy makes a comment like, "What are you gonna write about me? That I'm black?"
I'm black. Yes, go
And
Jimmy.
then he kind of looked like,
Uh,
Snake seems to be pretending nothing's wrong, which is kind of funny because in the other one, the mom does as well with their
yeah.
situation. Um,
And I just want
I
to
thought that
interject real quick.
okay,
When not Spinner, when Snake was on the phone with the doctor, I never noticed this before because I think I like kind of tuned that storyline out when I initially watched it. But they zoomed in on when he cut his finger right here, and it didn't heal. So that was like an indication that he is sicker than what he
uh,
was.
right. Yeah, because I think thick blood, I had that issue where my blood was too thick or whatever, and they thought I had leukemia.
Mm.
So yeah, I just went through that about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
they even
glad you didn't
scheduled a
have
blood,
leukemia.
right? They scheduled a blood transfusion for me actually, and then when I went in, they checked the blood results again, and they said no, it's not that, and then I have to take like a blood thinner for life, basically. Like okay,
Yeah.
but I have to get blood tests every year to make sure. Um, so I feel their pain, like I always said it. Um, I don't know who the dudes are that are picking on Marco. Are they like regular bullies? Oh no, they're the
Um.
ones that are when he's on his way to the hockey thing,
Oh.
right?
Oh. Oh. So they're just random
Okay,
people
so
who.
they're not
So
in
he
it.
was
Okay.
actually. So Mark was actually. He got off at the wrong stop. Wound up in. Well, we Philadelphians know this as Gayborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
He wound up in Gayborhood. The bullies. So he walked past like I guess like a club. He was kind of looking at the club. He was like, "Oh, okay." And then then that's when the people attacked him because
Yeah.
they thought he came out.
'Cause-
I guess they thought he came out of the club.
right. And I guess these guys just like to pick on gays. I don't know why else they'd be hanging
Yeah,
out there. Or their closet cases themselves, which does happen, I'm sure. The cops come and deal with the situation. I'm like, oh, we'll get him. Jimmy comes along because he was trying to call him on his flip phone,
on his flip phone.
which was this was 2003. I'm like, I guess they
2000.
did have
Yeah,
flip phones then. I couldn't
yeah.
remember. I didn't get my first phone until 2005. I was like against phones. I'm like, I'll never get one, and look at me now.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So I petty moment of the episode. I My first cell phone was because initially I didn't want to get a cell phone, but I was in an argument with my friends in I guess it was 10th or 11th grade. And I think it was 10th grade actually. And I heard they were in choir class with me and I was sitting in front of them. They were behind me. I overheard a conversation with them saying, "Maybe I'll get a phone," and I was like, "Oh hell no!" And I went to my grandmother and was like, "Hey, so I'm doing musical and plays and stuff like that, and the payphone's not working for me anymore. Can you give me a phone for Christmas?" And that's how I got a phone.
And you got your first
And
phone.
I got my first phone out of being petty.
Was it a Nokia? I had the little Nokia.
So no, it was a voice stream like about this big. Maybe
Were they
I
the
think it was
prepaids?
a little bigger than my phone.
Oh,
Um
okay.
and it was, so my grandmother paid for it because
Nice.
I didn't I didn't have a job in high school. So
Thanks, Grandma.
so and it was a big phone that had like a little antenna,
Oh,
and
wow.
um yeah, texting people was a nightmare. I'm glad that we evolved from that, uh,
Right, right.
because not only that you have to worry about anytime minutes, you have to worry about,
Yeah.
you pay per text. It's weird. It was so
10
weird
cents
back
a
then.
text or something, whatever
Hmm.
it was. I forget.
Yeah, and
I,
good luck finding a friend that has the same carrier as you.
I
Because that.
remember on my I remember on my Nokia, like you had to like you would have to like hit the number a couple times to get whatever letter you
Hmm.
needed because there was no autocorrect back then. It was just
Yep.
like so, and I got really quick with it. I was like, boop, 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 wait, boop, boop, boop. Like I was like really good. So then I had to get like a new phone and upgrades and all of this crap. I used to get the cheapest phones up until probably this 2018 one, which I still use, which now 2024, I need a new one. But but yeah, and then I always went in and got the cheapest phone. It would be like 50, $60. And I'm like, I cannot spend $1,000 on a phone. I just can't do
No,
it.
no, I would
Like
never.
it's
That's why.
crazy.
That's why my phone is like, it's an iPhone 11. I got it for a discounted price. And the good news is that iOS 18 accepts iPhone 11, so I do not have to replace my phone anytime soon unless I
That's
break
good.
it. So,
That's good.
but anyway, back
So
to the grass.
yeah, so we have Snake does this like bet because he has to like shave his head because of the leukemia.
Hmm.
Um
Well,
um
because of
and he
it's because of a fundraiser, but I'm not sure what the fundraiser's about. I don't even think it's about his leukemia.
well, no, it kind of is. So there's a fundraiser, and he wants to, like, he knows he's probably going to lose his hair. So to
Hmm.
hide his sickness, basically, he comes up with like an idea to like have to shave his head in front of the whole school. That way, it doesn't look like, when he's going through his issues, like they won't ever
Yeah,
know that he's sick, which I thought was kind of clever.
me
Um,
too.
so I forget what it was. He's like, I challenge you all to get $250 by tomorrow, or
Yeah,
I'll
something
shave my
like that.
head.
Hmm.
Something that they probably couldn't do where he had to shave his head. So I
Yeah.
have this lady comes out to do it. Do you know who this lady is?
Nope. There, it's just a one-off character. I'm assuming it was the lunch lady.
Okay,
That's what I'm
so
assuming, just because like it's stereotypical for on TV shows for the lunch lady to be
right,
this,
right,
like
like a
that,
mean.
like a
So
mean.
she looked familiar to me, so I had to look her up. And did you ever see the My Big Fat Greek Wedding movies?
I haven't, but I always wanted to. Is that her?
You haven't?
I
She plays
haven't.
Aunt Frida
Oh,
in all three
cool.
of them. Yeah, and that's why she looked from and she was also in Mamma Mia. If you've seen
Oh, I
that,
love
she's one
Mamma
of the
Mia.
love Mamma Mia. But I reckon she has a very distinguished face. Like I knew her so from like I know this lady, so I had to look her up. But anyway, she's the one that ends up shaving his head. Because he needs chemo and all that stuff, the normal things. Marco confronts Spinner. Um, he says, "Well, why don't you just stop being gay and go out with Hazel? Because that's how it works." You know.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
And Marco compares him to the guys that beat him up.
Mm,
I like that.
I like that.
Uh-huh. And then he kind of like had a moment like, "Oh shit." Although he had the same moment with Jimmy. So I'm like, is he learning his lesson? Or is
Yeah,
he
so
not?
that's the end of the episode. But let me give you a kind of a quick
How things go.
how things go. Marco and Dylan end up dating. Spinner
Figured.
comes around to Marco, so he comes around to Marco's coming out. So I think he even defends him in one episode, like from bullies, which that
Okay.
shows some character growth for Spinner.
For Spinner,
Um,
yeah.
we're not going to talk about how their college years ended just because I hate it. But let's just say, let's just say there was Marco, for whatever reason, that I cannot fathom ever, even rewatching the episode, makes out with Ellie, and then they all, because they all moved in together. Paige, Spinner, that's like not Paige, not Spinner. Paige, Ellie, and Marco all moved in together for college, and then the reason why they moved out was because Marco made out with Ellie for no reason,
Hmm.
like that I can think of.
Um, it's kind of well, in what I'm thinking, is like a Will and Grace situation. I don't know if you ever watched Will and Grace,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like I feel like they could have made out occasionally just because, like, if
But
I don't know, they were just like
it was
such
like
close
once
friends,
that, which is weird because
right?
if it was something like that, maybe I would have understood. But
Like maybe it
from
was like I don't know the situation, but like maybe one of them got hurt and they were just there for each other, and it kind of just led to that, which I guess could I don't know. I
it
didn't
was
see it.
something like, yeah, it was something like that. But
Okay,
still,
I could see that though.
yeah, still it was
It's
like
just like a,
it just
it's
came
more
out of
like a
nowhere.
friend thing. Yeah, it comes out of nowhere, but it's more like I feel like a friend thing, which shouldn't cause any of that. But whatever, I didn't see it, so I don't know. But I
Yeah, no.
understand it because I've seen that
Coming from an
done.
outside perspective, I'm understanding it a little better, but still,
Yeah.
it was.
So let's get to this My Body is a Cage because that is probably the best title um for these episodes. And like I really felt this poor person's pain. Gracie slash Adam.
Yes.
Um, so we
So
get like a
I just
a
want to
sl-
say, I
okay.
believe My Body is a Cage won a Peabody Award. Well
I could see
deserved.
why.
Well
I could see
deserved.
why.
Yeah, because like, yeah, and I saw this episode live, and I was so impressed with it.
Yeah, it was well done. Yeah, 2010 this was. I did look
Hmm.
that up. So 14 years ago. Or the other was I think 20 we said, right?
About 20, yeah.
2002.
So 10 years apart, these episodes.
Yeah. Um and yeah, like we said, there's the similar storyline with Anya um and her mom is going
Mhm.
through some kind of illness. She had to get an MRI or whatever, and it's leukemia. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, and it's just, I guess because I watched them so close together. If I watched regularly, I probably would have forgot that the principal had it because that was 10 years before, and my memory ain't that good like that. So I'd
Yeah.
be like, oh, I probably remember something similar, but I probably won't remember that it's the exact same thing. But since we watched them all together, yep, it's the exact same thing. It's leukemia. But I was actually interested in that story, and I think Anya brought it. I really liked her performance. The
Yeah.
story I was not interested in was the
Samantha
kid trying
Monroe,
to
who
impress
plays
him.
Anya, does a really good job. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I know that actress name too, and I wanted to look her up.
So
I'll have to
she
do that
played, I
later.
know she played Brenda in the Beverly Hills 90210 unauthorized story that aired on Lifetime.
Oh, really? I seen that.
Yes, so that's her.
Oh, wow. That's so funny. Um, yeah, so at first I must say we get this slow version of the song, their theme song, and I didn't like it. I'm like, I don't I don't like it.
Oh, there are worse versions of the theme song.
Is
Actually, the
there?
best version of the theme song. You ever heard the show Instant Star? It's a
Mm-mm.
Canadian. Yeah, you probably didn't. It's a Canadian show. One of the stars of it. Actually, no. You ever heard the show So Real that came on the Disney Channel? No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So both of them have the same singer on there. She sings the theme song
Okay.
after this one, and I actually really like it.
Huh. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I was like, oh, what did they do to the song?
I'm just
Um,
used to it. But there's a
oh,
version
but yet,
before this that I hated. So, because that's
but
what
the
I was like,
story,
okay, this is better, but this is not.
But the story I didn't like was the one with the boy trying to impress the teacher. That was dumb. I I could have easily not watched that part. I didn't even write anything down about that
So,
part.
so the only thing I'm going to say about that, well, there are two things I'm going to say about that story. The actor who plays Dave is unfortunately one of the first Degrassi cast members to die. Um,
Ooh.
like Degrassi, anything after 2001, like Degrassi Next Generation, he's the first cast member of that show, I believe, to die. Jamil
Which
French.
character, which
So the
one was
one
that?
who was in that C storyline with Miss O, with the main guy, the main guy in that C
The
storyline.
nerdy one?
No, not the
There was
nerdy one.
oh, okay, the
The
other
one who
boy.
kept getting Fs. The
The
one that
one,
kept getting like,
okay, okay.
yeah. So
So
Dave,
he
the one who
died.
played Dave, yeah, he actually passed away unfortunately.
Do you know how?
I to this day I do not know.
Hmm,
Yeah,
that's
so
sad.
he's
Yeah, because
yeah.
he was
Even
he had
the
to be
people
in
in
his
like
20s.
yeah, he was very young. He was very young when he
Damn.
died. He was like in his 20s. Um, and then like in the next generation, which is like the iteration. So for those of you who don't know, anything past season 10 is just called Degrassi. Because the next generation contained Emma and she was gone after season 10. So beyond that, it's Degrassi. And then after season 14, it's called Next Class. But there are no episodes that I know that
Hmm.
have specific gay themes. It's just LGBT themes. They are so intertwined into the show, like LGBT characters, that there's no one episode to point out in Next Class. So
And they
we've
kind of did it. They've done it. So I
yeah,
mean, you really don't need to
so we've
rehash it.
evolved so much from these two episodes.
Yeah. Um. So we have Gracie is Adam at this
Mhm.
point. Now was he Adam the whole time up until this point? Like,
Yes.
when did he come on?
So when we're introduced to Adam, we do not know that he is transgender. We do not know anything. We do not know really much about the character except that this is Adam. In fact, he is introduced at a. It's funny when oh my gosh, when Eli has Eli, who's the goth kid who was with Claire, um
Right, right.
he has a hearse as a car in this season only. And
That's funny.
and they had to like touch the car, and if anybody removes their hand or does any kind of movement to their hand, they lose. I forgot what the prize was. So
Mm,
Adam is first introduced in that episode, and we just
mm.
know nothing about Adam until this episode. Almost nothing about Adam because we just know it's just like, oh, it's just this cute side character that
So
is
was Drew not
part
on
of the
either?
plot, huh?
Was Drew not on yet either then? Because Drew's
Drew was on
his
at this
brother.
point. I
Okay,
think
so
he
he was
was in
on
the
too.
previous season or two.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was in the previous season because he plays football. So, or maybe he was new this season. I forgot.
Yeah, I looked them up and they were both on for a long time. They were both, I think one was like 160 something episodes and the other was like several hundred episodes. So they were on for a while.
Keep
He
in
was on,
mind,
Drew was on longer than
yeah,
Adam.
keep in
Yeah.
mind that starting in season 10, the show becomes like a weekday soap opera format. So there
Uh,
are a lot of episodes to get through between seasons 10 and seasons 14. So
okay.
podcasters who do Degrassi and get to season 10, I pray for you.
You got a lot to do.
You got a lot to do.
And that's
Imagine
why we do
watching it live.
specials. That's why we do specials. And I mean the episodes that you picked have been great. Like they're like you said, they're like after school specials and they do a really good job with
Hmm.
writing them. And I guess because well they do have that's like 45 minutes basically we're watching
Hmm.
two episodes, but which was basically like the after school special time, back in
Yeah,
the day. So yeah, Adam's there and like they're doing like some kind of ballroom dancing
because
when
Adam
he
has
needs a
remedial
partner.
gym.
Yeah, he needs a partner,
Which
and this
honestly,
Bianca.
I wish I had remedial gym. Take me back to high school so I can do remedial gym because I did not like getting bullied for not knowing how to kick a ball. So,
Um, I didn't. I got out of gym in high school, thank goodness.
you know
I
what?
feel like
I
all
could
the
have done
gays found
Rotec.
ways out.
I could have
What's
done
that?
Rotec. I could have. That's what would have gotten me out of gym.
Uh, I had joined band, and then I left band like kind of right before school started, so I ended up having like a free period because of it. They put me in a study hall instead of gym. I guess because all the gyms were filled up. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I got out of it, thank God.
yeah. Gym was a
Like it,
requirement at my high school, so I had
some gays
except
found
with
ways out of
Rotec.
it. My friend
Except
Tim, like my friend Tim, like cut class, cut gym the whole time, and he got like normal grades for it and everything because they didn't even notice he wasn't there. It's crazy.
so previous story about me being petty. I was mostly a good student in high school. I never cut class or anything. So I was just a emotional teenager for various reasons.
Mm, we were. Yeah, I was emotional. We all were.
Yeah,
It's high school. Although I miss those days.
I did too.
Because now I'm emotional over bills, and it wasn't like that. So yeah, so he gets this girl Bianca or whatever to dance with him, and I feel like they're kind of flirty, like almost.
Yeah.
I thought that he like I kind of knew. I feel like he looked like a girl, so I knew that, you know, I knew the situation. Plus, I knew, what we were watching, so I'm like, okay, this is the one that we're dealing with. But I did not realize that no one else knew at the time. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know it was a thing. That's the only downfall of like not watching at all. Um, but it was still good, like I still liked it. But he picks this Bianca to dance with or whatever. Um, Anya's mom's sick. She has to go for an MRI, but we don't know exactly what's happening quite yet. Um, Claire bumps into Adam at the lockers and tampons go everywhere. What you got tampons for? And then and then Claire kind of takes like responsibility for them. She's like, "Oh, I dropped my tampons. I
Yeah,
always do
because like the
that."
bullies came up and was like, "What you got tampons for?" And Claire's like, "Oh, silly me, I dropped them."
Yeah, there's always bullies around.
It's always
Um,
bullies in high school.
Anya questions her mom and she's like, "You're cheating on dad or whatever." And that's when she says that she was getting an MRI, so she had to leave her jewelry, home or whatever. Um, Adam comes out as transgender to Claire and Eli, and they take it really well.
I
They like,
love that scene.
yeah, it
I
was
love
really
that scene.
nice.
I think
They had questions. They
I
had
quote the
questions,
cool
and he
I
answered.
quote Eli saying "cool" all the time. When
Ooh.
somebody tells me something like that, I think will be earth shattering. I just want to say "cool" and then just to throw people off, and then be like,
And
"No,
that's
no, seriously,
where
I'm very accepting." So,
And that's where I like where it went with like the one from 10 years previous when he came out, Spinner just walked away and then denied it. So like I like how it's two totally different,
mhm.
situations and different um, you know, circumstances, whatever, of how it turned out. Um, Adam comes on to Bianca and she feels like boobs. And then she like rips the jacket open and she's like, I saw freaks like you on Oprah. And that was kind of rude. I was like, oh.
I know
Look
that's a terrible line, but the way that she said it,
at you laughing at Degrassi.
I know
Very serious. No,
very serious,
it
very
was
serious. Look, somebody
it was
needs
good.
to put the ABC After School Special logo or opening credits, Tommy, and
I don't even know what did she tie around her boobs or Adam sort of
binding.
like
I
oh,
actually
okay. I
have to
don't
learn this because I was like, "What is that?" So it's binding. Um, that you can actually. So I actually looked it up on Amazon. I think around the time when I first saw the episode. And I was like,
Okay.
"What is this? What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, binding." I'm like, "Ooh." So for people who may not know, I have big boobs. So, and I'm like, and it's hard for me
She
to wear
needs to be
certain clothes.
binded.
So I'm like, would this work for me?
Right. Yeah, it's sad. It's a sad moment.
Very sad moment.
Um, Anya gets a call from her mom and like has to go, and then like she gets home and like it's just they tell her that it's just a follow-up appointment. I was like, so they called her out of class for that? And she was confused too.
Yeah,
So I
that would
didn't
be
know if they
confusing.
like I guess they figured something was wrong, but they didn't know exactly what. But like, why would you bother your daughter? Like she's in school. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't
like,
necessary at that point.
and but wait a minute, but like, she lives far enough to take the bus, but close enough to walk home. Because like her mom said, like, "Oh, I'm sick today," and she said, "Take the bus." And she's like, "I don't want to take that stinky bus."
Right. Yeah, right. That is weird.
Unless she means public transportation,
Maybe.
like whatever metro thing is in Canada.
Yeah. Adam goes to use the bathroom and he goes to the men's room because he's, Adam.
Hmm.
And two dudes pick on him and they found out from, I guess, Bianca spreading the word. And they throw him out. They carry him out and like throw him into a door. I'm
Which that
like,
I think that's more brutal than
that was very brutal.
that's very.
And the door broke. The glass door
Yeah,
broke. I
the
was
door broke. Like, well, first of all, Fitz, who was one of the bullies, is basically a psychopath. So,
oh, okay.
yeah, so that's what makes it worse for me.
He
Whereas
never
with
learned his lesson.
Marco, when the randos attacked Marco, that was terrible. But I think, knowing what I know with what happens with Fitz, and he gets involved with like Claire and Eli, that
Okay.
storyline, that's what makes it worse for me, because because like Fitz is basically a psychopath.
Mm,
And
seems like it.
by the way, I forgot one part about the Marco thing. They
Mm.
never catch the guys who did it.
Okay.
So yeah, there's not a follow up to that.
There's not a follow-up.
They never caught the guys who beat them up in the park.
Bastards. Got
Yeah.
away with it. So, Andrew finds out about the dudes. Andrew is um, uh, Adam's brother
Hmm.
and goes and attacks them like right away. I was like, oh
Yeah.
boy, defending his brother. I like it. And they kind of beat him up, but whatever. It
One of
worked
them
out.
holds back Adam too, like, which I found was really weird.
Which one?
One of the bullies, I forgot which one. I think Fitz
Yeah,
was the
they
one that
hold
beat up.
Adam.
Yeah, held Adam. Fitz was the one that beat up Drew. And I think the other one, who I honestly, I do not know your name, baby. You're just as terrible as Fitz, I think. Uh,
Yeah, and Adam like pushed that guy, so that was kind of cool at least.
mhm.
So they went down fighting, but that was the end of that episode.
Yeah.
Um, Part two, Audra wants them to change schools. They're like in the principal's office and what's being taken care of, and I think the bullies got expelled or something, or
Suspended, I think.
just suspended.
Yeah, suspended. 'Cause I think he comes back. I know he comes back.
And then like Snake gives the key to the handicap bathroom to Adam to use.
Well, Adam calls it the handicap bathroom. I forgot what Snake calls it. It was like a different name.
The special needs
Special
bathroom,
needs
which is
bathroom. Yeah. Which, hey, look,
yeah,
I'm all for private bathrooms, especially in
same
a
here.
school.
Same here. Um,
Give me that
so
special treatment. Let me ride that elevator.
we find out that Anya's mom has non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, just like Snake did.
Snake did.
But he lived to tell about it. I don't know if his mom will. I mean, you would probably know.
Yeah, I forgot all
Um,
about the storyline, so I can't give you an update.
okay. Um, and then she didn't do, Anya didn't do what she was supposed to do for the project she was put into with her ex-boyfriend and his now girlfriend that I don't think she knew that they were dating or whatever. I think her name's Holly. Can't
Holly Jet, yeah.
remember. Okay. And Holly thinks it's because she's dating him or whatever, which is the least of Anya's
Which the
problems.
guy is Sav, who I think I kind of previously mentioned, who has a little
Hmm.
sister named Aunt Annie. No, Aunt Allie. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
So Sav is used because he's a person of color. He's played by actually Raymond a Black, who if you I think he's been in a lot of Netflix stuff lately, and he looks
Okay.
good.
Looks good. I made a
Good.
note of I looked up Craig and he's in a lot of Hallmark movies.
So is
I was
Ellie.
like, oh, is she?
So is
That's so
Ellie.
funny.
I saw like a poster for one of them, and I was like, oh, it's Ellie.
I guess 'cause they do
She
film
looks
them
really
in
different.
Canada. They film them in Canada. He looks
Hmm.
different too. I would never, actually seen him and stuff, and I didn't even know it was him. So he looks totally different. Um, Adam says he and Bianca should still dance together, and she's like, hell no. And she kind of like is a dickhead and gets sent to the principal's office. Yay.
Yay.
Hopefully she gets suspended because she said, I was told one more time to the principal's office and I'm out. Um, so what was it? Oh, Adam wants to tell his grandma that he's Adam now, and his mom ain't having it. She's like,
Mm-mm.
no. She said, don't even come to the dinner if you're not going to dress as Gracie. Which this was brutal. This was hard to
That was
watch.
brutal. Yeah. I wonder
Um,
because I don't think they ever really explained that. I wonder if it was just because. Well, I mean, they kind of explained a lot from Audra's side, but they never explained it from the grandmom's perspective. I wonder if the grandmom was transphobic.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they never said anything,
They
right?
never said anything from Audra's perspective. It's which not to spoil things, but it's because she still thinks of Adam as Gracie. But from
Right,
the grandma's perspective, hell if I know.
right. And Audra, I would have liked to have seen how the grandma would have handled it, but we didn't get to. And I don't know if you get to see that on the show. I'm not positive.
I don't think we
I
do.
would. It's a shame because I feel like that could have gone on, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but Audra says like, yeah, she just wants a nice family dinner with Gracie there and not Adam. Sad.
Sad.
So Anya gets home and she's wondering why her parents are just acting like normal and nothing's wrong. And she is bothered by it because she's like, dude, you're sick. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you laughing or watching the show and just making jokes and stuff? And the
You're
dad's
not
like, well,
laughing, you're
you know,
crying.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Um, Adam shows up to dinner as Gracie and looks super uncomfortable
Mm.
because they, and apparently we did find out that they were, I don't know if they were a cutter or she just like, or burned herself when she was Gracie
So
with those
she's yeah
paper when they hit
she
everything.
self harms anytime she has to revert back to Gracie.
Gracie.
Um yeah, which is terrible. Sad actually. Not terrible, sad.
Yeah. Anya gets to school and she sees like the volcano is finished and she didn't have anything to do with it and she ruins it. She ruins the project.
She even
Um,
like sprinkles the it's
to
because it
make
was
it look like,
Pompeii. She sprinkles like a
yeah,
little ash on it.
yeah, that was funny. Um, Audra says that she misses Gracie so much and like at the dinner, which is also, I feel like a knife in Gracie. So then, like you said, well, Adam reverts back to Gracie because I guess of that comment, tries to be like Gracie for everyone because that's what they want him to be. Um, Anya tells Holly that her mom has cancer, and that's why she's been acting weird. And they have like a nice
Mhm.
little moment. They hug or whatever.
Yeah, because her
Um,
best friend and her ex are now together.
yeah.
So Holly J is her best friend. Sav is her ex, and then they got together.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. I guess my notes were out of whack because I put like Bianca gets sent to the principal's office now when she shows up as Gracie to dance. Um, and Claire catches Gracie hurting herself outside with like lighting fire on what are those like headband things? Little
Oh man, I know what you're talking
they're
about.
like headband clips, and she lights them like she lights them on fire, and then puts it on her skin
I
to
know what
burn
you're talking
herself.
about. I saw it, but like I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, like hair clips or something, or like
Oh,
hair
it's a hair
clips,
clip.
the
Yeah, I
little
guess it's a
metal.
hair clip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure like what the actual. I think that's what it's called. I'm not positive. So yeah, that was sad, and she basically says that's what she does when she's Gracie. Um, Anya and the family go to the doctor, and they caught it early. And Anya's mom says that she's her rock, and I thought that was so sweet. I think I got a tear from that storyline, and also the Gracie one.
Hmm.
Gracie confronts her mom and says that you got to put Gracie to rest. This was fun. I really like this because they went, her and her brother Andrew and their friends, like got some of her clothes and they were gonna burn them.
Hmm.
And then her mom and
Now
dad
he's at him
came.
again.
He's at yeah,
He's at him
she's at him
again.
again. And they burn like basically her
And
clothes and then
and
enough.
the picture with her hugging the book with
She
well
didn't
with
burn that though.
Gracie at the time hugging the book.
But she didn't burn that picture
She didn't
because she
burn the
said that's
picture.
still me. Yeah. The mom brought the picture for the for her to burn or whatever. Um, yeah, and she's like, it's still me. And then you just kind of see that, and that's how it ends. I was like, yeah. And I got a tear from that. So
Yeah.
good stuff, man. You done good.
Very good episode. Like, I'm glad I picked
Yeah,
them.
yeah. And you must be very familiar with Degrassi because you did it really quick. I remember you were like, let me think of what episodes we can do, and then you're like, this one and this one, and then you sent
This
them
one,
to
this
me
one.
like right off when we got off the
Yeah,
phone.
so want to get some want me to spoil what happens with the
Yeah,
characters? Okay,
please
so
do. What you know?
unfortunately,
Uh-oh.
oh god, this pisses
Who
me
dies?
off, and I actually made me stop watching Degrassi. So Adam is actually a really good character on the show, like excellent character. I adore Adam. Unfortunately, they kill in the trope bury your gays. They kill off Adam not by like a symbolic way, like the way that you know the way that like you would bury your gays in a car accident while he is texting and driving his girlfriend. And it's not Bianca because Bianca winds up with Drew. Um, but don't worry,
Oh, really?
they everybody patches things up. So
Well, yeah, I would assume because it's I think they're on for like 8 years or something crazy. So I mean, that's a lot of
well, not
episodes.
8 years. They're on for like it's maybe more like four because remember they have the soap opera format, so it's a lot of episodes they're doing.
Uh, when I looked
Yeah.
it up, yeah, like when I looked it up, I thought it said like 2010 to like 18 or something crazy, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of years.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would make no, but I feel like at least less than that. I don't know. Anything else you need to say? Get off your chest about the grassy.
No, well, we'll do more. We'll do more. I like it. It's fun to watch.
Yay!
I just don't want to watch it all. That's a lot.
Happy Pride Day again. Thank
Happy
you for
Pride
joining
Month.
us. Happy Pride Month. Yes, yes. Happy Pride Month. I think is it Pride Day tomorrow? Is
I
it
don't
June
know.
15th? No, I thought so.
Maybe
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know. Let's look. It's Pride Month. Philly already had their parade. It's fine.
Yeah, right. We're good.
Thank you for joining us on Queers and Soaps, and thank you for joining us from watching Degrassi. As always, you can follow us on the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, bye.
Bye, everyone.